Hi everyone, Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Hour streaming studio. I hope everyone is having a nice Thursday morning here. Appreciate everyone for tuning in and for watching. Again, going to do a little bit of a deep dive here on the forecast as we head into the day on Thursday. Chance for some thunderstorms today for some parts of the state. Could see maybe even a few strong to severe thunderstorms. But it is Thursday, and that means we're going to start off with the Drought Monitor. Again, latest Drought Monitor was released this morning, and again, things continue to get a little bit worse. Well, we did have some moisture earlier this week on Monday, and that is included in the latest drought monitor. But again, it was generally less than a half an inch for parts of south central and southeastern Nebraska, so not a whole lot of a dent in the drought conditions. But again, it is better than nothing, which we'll take. And again, looks like we could see some more active weather as we head into the week next week. So again, hopefully keeping our fingers crossed to see some additional moisture. So this was the drought monitor we had released last week. Again, you can see the entire state covered in drought conditions. A good chunk of eastern Nebraska covered by severe drought. Again, a good chunk of the northern half of the state covered with severe drought. Southwestern Nebraska still kind of on the lower end in the abnormally dry to moderate drought. But again, things continue to just get a little bit worse. So that was last week, and now this is what we had released this week. And again, hard to kind of see the changes. So this is the actual change map. Those areas in yellow, which again we see a few of them across parts of the Panhandle, across northeastern Nebraska, and then in extreme southeastern Nebraska. Those are the areas that got one category of drought worse. So we did have some expansion of drought across, again, western, northeastern, and then extreme southeastern Nebraska. There was one little sliver across Holt County that did actually see just a sliver of improvement. At least one class of drought just improved. So there was at least some improvement in at least a small percentage area across the state. Again, I'll go back here to see if you can see the change there. Again, so in the Panhandle, in the Northeast, and then a little bit in the Southeast is where we saw things get a little bit worse. We also see that little red dot there now in the northeastern corner of the state. Some introduction of extreme drought across parts of Antelope County there in northeastern Nebraska. Again, here in Lincoln and Lancaster County, we continue to see severe drought conditions. And again, this has developed fairly quickly. Again, if you go back and look at the drought monitor, I believe it was on July 9th is when we sort of had the bottom of the curve, and we had almost no drought across the entire state. If you look at the time series of drought over the past year, again you can see that dip going back into July. Again, I think it was about 20%, maybe 18%, something like that, of the state that was under drought. And again, it was just some abnormally dry conditions. There was some moderate drought in there, but now again the entire state covered with drought. You have a little over 1% now under extreme drought. Again, there's that dot in Antelope County. You also had, again, a few spot out in far northwestern Nebraska under extreme drought. Half of the state now under severe drought. About a third of the state under moderate drought. 10% of the state abnormally dry. So again, things continue to get a little bit worse. And again, really haven't seen much in the way of meaningful moisture. Again, we saw some on Monday, but really haven't seen much over the past almost 10 weeks or so. So again, it's been awfully dry for us. And good news is the forecast does have some chances for rain in it over the next week to 10 days, but likely not arriving until the middle part of the week next week. So if you look at the National Drought Monitor, again, you can still see sort of the remnants of Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. No drought across parts of Florida and then across parts of the Southeast, Carolinas, Georgia into Kentucky. But again, a good percentage of the country under some sort of drought conditions, the worst of which continues to be across Southwest Texas. They have some extreme to exceptional drought there across parts of Southwest Texas and into parts of southern New Mexico, which again is normally a pretty dry area, but again they're pretty short on their precipitation. Also the high plains across parts of the Dakotas into eastern Wyoming continue to see extreme and areas of exceptional drought expand over the last several weeks. So if you look at the time series nationally, again have 80% of the country with some sort of drought conditions. Again, still very small percentage under exceptional or extreme drought, about 5% combined between those two categories. But again, you can also see going back to late June, early July, things were doing pretty good. About 25% of the country under some sort of drought, and we've upped that percentage by over 50% over the course of the last several months. So check out the Lincoln Weather Almanac again. For yesterday, we had a high of 67, low of 49. You can see that high was close to normal, the low above average. Again, and you can see for the month about a half an inch of rainfall here in Lincoln for the year. Now 23.5 inches, but that's still almost 3 inches below average. So again, it was nice to see the rain, but still well below average. And also now half an inch below normal for our snowfall. So again, that is something to keep an eye on. We averaged about an inch of snow in October. Doesn't look like we're going to see any snow this October, though. So probably going to end up, again, a little bit of a deficit when it comes to our snowfall. Checking out the weather headlines. Again, warmer and breezy today. We'll see those temperatures well back above average, getting close to 80 degrees for parts of southeastern Nebraska. But then cold front heads our way through the day today. That's going to bring in that chance for a few showers, isolated thunderstorms in extreme eastern Nebraska. It's also going to give us a cooler start to the weekend. But again, temperatures are going to be a little up and down for us as we head over the next several days. So it's going to be cooler start to the weekend, but then warm and windy weather looks to return, especially as we head into the early part of the work week next week. Dealing with some clouds right now in Lincoln as we look out from Lincoln Skyview. 51 right now at the airport, 48 here in Midtown Lincoln. Southeast wind at around 10 miles an hour. Dew point in the upper 30s. Temperatures across the Lincoln Metro generally sit in the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees. Again, at the airport, 51. It's 47 in Grand Island, 46 in Thedford, 42 this morning in Scottsbluff. So generally low 40s to low 50s across the state as we start our Thursday. Winds have swung around to the south. For most, again, this is out ahead of a cold front that's already cut across parts of northwestern Nebraska. You can see Shadron has that northeasterly wind. So winds generally out of the south today, and again, they will be breezy. Could see those winds gusting up to 25 to 35 miles an hour. But from west to east, those winds are going to be swinging around eventually to the north and to the northwest. And again, we'll stay breezy as that front kicks through the area as we head through the day today. Satellite radar picture, generally fairly quiet out there right now. Again, we can see some cloud cover across the northern tier of the state. A few showers showing up on the radar, again, across the far western sections of the state. You zoom out, look at a regional view. Again, you can see clouds and areas of showers behind that front across the Dakotas into parts of Wyoming. If you zoom out even further and look nationally, that's kind of the only thing that we have going on. Things are fairly quiet when you look at the country as a whole when it comes to our weather. If you check out the weather alerts, not a whole lot going on. Again, have some red flag warnings there across parts of Oklahoma, northeast Texas, some frost advisories into far southwestern Nebraska, northwestern Kansas. As again, behind that front, we will see a chilly night tonight, especially across the western sections of the state. You check out Skycast as we head through the day today. Cloud cover will continue to try and increase. I think by this afternoon into this evening, we should be looking at partly cloudy skies for a good chunk of the 10-11 coverage area. This is at 4 o'clock. You see things generally dry, though I do think we could see a few spotty showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. It says we head past 4 o'clock. Things are expected to pick up in terms of potential shower and thunderstorm development along that front. Our in-house model, though, and it's been picking up on this for the last day or so, doesn't really start anything until that front is east and southeast of the coverage area and really begins to see thunderstorm activity erupt across parts of eastern Kansas along that front. So as you go forward in time, you can see that thunderstorm line of thunderstorms develop along that front. But as it develops, it's already out of the coverage area. So again, I think a small chance, 20%, basically Lincoln, Beatrice, up towards Omaha, and then towards to the areas to the southeast. So Nebraska City, Falls City have that small chance to see a shower or thunderstorm. But if things do pop up, they could intensify pretty quickly and could become severe. Hail and wind being the main threats with those thunderstorms. But then as we head past tonight into the day on Friday, behind that front, cooler weather, quiet weather, generally sunny skies, I think, as we head through the day on your Friday. And that cooler weather will continue as we head into the day on Saturday, though we are expecting maybe a little bit more cloud cover, I think, as we head into the day on your Saturday, but generally dry conditions with winds eventually swinging back around to the south as we head into the day on your Saturday. So severe weather outlook for the day today, there is that marginal risk across extreme southeastern Nebraska. So again, I think Omaha, Lincoln, down towards Beatrice, and then areas to the east and southeast at least have that low-end chance for a few showers and isolated thunderstorms. If we do see some thunderstorms, though, they could be on the strong side. Again, it's just a marginal risk, so not expecting widespread severe weather, but a few stronger storms can't be ruled out with large hail and damaging winds as the primary threats. 7-day precipitation potential looks like this. Again, there is some chances for moisture over the course of the next week. Not a ton of moisture. We'll take what we can get, though. Highest rainfall potential is going to be to our west and to our east, so across parts of Wyoming into western Colorado, and then across parts of eastern Iowa into northern Missouri. And that is going to be with that complex of thunderstorms that we're expecting tonight, where they could see anywhere from half an inch to an inch and a half, maybe even 2-inch amounts possible for some areas off across southeastern Iowa into northern Missouri. As far as temperatures today, again, going to be a wide range as that cold front cuts through the state, anywhere from the upper 50s to the upper 70s from west to east. In Lincoln, we're going to go 78 degrees for our high today, 74 in Grand Island, upper 60s in North Platte, and then low 60s in Scottsbluff this afternoon. Chilly weather tonight behind that front with lows falling into the mid-20s to mid-30s for the western half of the state. We'll go upper 30s to low to mid-40s, though, across the eastern and southeastern sections of the state. So not quite as chilly tonight for us, but we will see some of that chillier weather as we head into Saturday morning. Friday afternoon will be cooler with highs a little bit more seasonal for late October. Look for those temperatures generally in the lower to middle 60s across much of the state. Friday into Saturday, again, that colder weather, colder air settles into the area, so we'll see lows generally in the low to mid 30s across the 10-11 coverage area. So again, chilly start to the weekend if you're out early on Saturday. Saturday afternoon, seasonal weather expected with highs generally in the low to mid 60s, a few 70s on the board in the far west. Into Sunday morning, a little bit warmer, upper 30s to low 40s, and then Sunday afternoon we see those warmer temperatures return with a little bit of a breezy south wind. We'll see highs generally in the middle 70s across the state. Again, average high temperatures on Sunday generally sitting in the lower to middle 60s, so well above average for the day on your Sunday. 7-day forecast looks like this. Again, you can see we're kind of up and down and all over the place. Upper 70s today, warm and breezy, mid 60s, seasonal and comfortable Friday and Saturday. Sunday, though, back to the mid 70s. Monday, Tuesday into the lower 80s. Monday will be close to a record high, but it looks like it'll also be pretty windy. Winds gusting 30 to 40 miles an hour. And then Wednesday, we see temperatures back down to the mid 60s with that 30% chance for showers for us here in Lincoln. And then temperatures generally hold in the lower to middle 60s beyond that as we head towards the second half of the week next week and into next weekend. So again, that's as we kind of hit Halloween and into the first couple days of November. So you can see on the 10-day forecast here, again, kind of up and down, but more above average than below average as we head over the next 5 or 6 days, but then a little bit more seasonal as we head towards the second half of that long-range forecast with highs Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of next week, generally in the 50s to low 60s across the state. So again, certainly feeling a little bit more like late October, early November. Precipitation forecast, again, you can see that small chance today for southeastern Nebraska. Otherwise, most areas staying generally dry as we head through the day on our Thursday, dry through the weekend, and to start the work week next week. But then we can see potentially more active weather arrives as we head through the week next week. Again, not necessarily a ton of moisture, but at least chances for moisture basically every day, almost every day, as we head through the week, through the work week next week and into the following weekend. 8 to 14-day temperature outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center. Again, this takes us from October 31st through November 6th, so almost through the first week of November. And again, we've gradually seen some of the odds for below average temperatures continue to shift a little bit further to the east, so we're going to continue to monitor that as we head into that first week of November. But right now, for much of the state, much of the region, we're looking at better than average odds of continuing to see above average temperatures across the region, but also at that same time, still looking at better than average odds of seeing wetter than normal conditions across the area as well. So again, that'll be definitely a time frame for us to keep an eye on that first week of November. Could see some wet weather or wetter weather return back to the region. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching. As always, again, keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online, all of our streaming platforms for all of the latest news, weather, and sports. Until next time, hope everyone has a nice Thursday.